This is Cam Weiland, and you're listening to the 103rd episode of the Wordplay Podcast. The first proofs of outlining your novel, Map Your Way to Success, were ready early this week, so I've been knuckling down to the always fun task of proofreading, fact-checking, and generally making certain that I haven't done anything to make myself look too stupid. So far, everything's right on schedule for the book's October 1st release date. Very soon, I should be able to share its cover work with you. The prospect of holding a new book in my hands is always a happy, chill-inducing one. And this one is special in its own way, since it's my first nonfiction book. Stay tuned for updates as we get closer to October. I'd like to shout out a huge thank you to all of you who took the time to nominate Wordplay for Writer's Digest's 101 Best Websites for Writers. I was humbled by how many of you let me know that you'd taken a moment from your busy schedules to zap off an email. If Wordplay makes it into the 101, it will be entirely due to all of my fabulous wordplayers. You guys rock. The Perils of a Passive Protagonist, the latest post in the video series on my blog, warns about the pitfalls of creating characters who aren't able to take readers into the thick of the action. You can watch the video on my blog at wordplay-kmweiland, that's weiland.blogspot.com. New videos are posted every Wednesday. Meanwhile, enjoy this week's podcast, Why There's No Such Thing as a Writing Expert, and Why That's a Good Thing. By the time I realized the art of writing a novel was something that could actually be learned, I had already written 3, admittedly awful, books. Then one day, when I was about halfway through my 4th book, I happened to be browsing the bottom shelves at the library, where I pulled out a book titled, How to Write and Sell a Christian Novel. I checked the book out, polished it off in 1 or 2 sittings, and closed the back cover to the realization that my writing, and my life, had changed forever. I checked out a few more books from that bottom shelf, but around the 3rd or 4th one I decided they were all about the same. And anyway, I had it all figured out by now. So I quit reading them, and buckled down to finish writing book number 4. It was also awful. This is about when I started thinking, maybe I don't know it all yet. Maybe I should keep reading those bottom shelf books after all. The more time we spend studying our craft, and the more we learn, the easier it is to lose sight of our own fallibility. We master a little corner of the craft and immediately start feeling like Superman, floating out there in space, complacently smiling down on the world, congratulating ourselves for saving it once again. We read a book by another author, start picking out the mistakes, which only a few weeks ago we were making ourselves, and smugly congratulate ourselves for being experts compared to this poor fool. The truth is, we probably do know a good deal about the craft. We've studied, we've grown, maybe we're even experts. But the moment we start thinking of ourselves as experts, explicitly or otherwise, is the moment in which we lose a little of our wide-open learnability. A naive, arrogant, deep-down part of us starts to think we understand it all. Every time I start falling into that trap, something eventually comes along that bangs me upside the head and leaves me with a star-spangled reminder that I don't know anything. We all need to experience this painful, shocking, overwhelming epiphany every now and then. This epiphany can leave us feeling a little abashed, a little ashamed, and ironically more than a little exhilarated. Stone walls and iron chains fall away, new vistas explode, and unexplored horizons stretch to infinity. Blind spots flicker into view, and even as the painful awareness of our writing weaknesses cause us to wince, we can laugh with the excitement of realizing that being able to see our problems means we're halfway down the road to solving them. Success, knowledge, and experience can sometimes lead us, unwittingly, to the stuffy cell of complacency. And in a life, and an art, that demands openness and curiosity, this is death in a box. No matter where we are in our writing lives, no matter how many bad stories we write, no matter how many good stories we write, no matter how much we've learned or how much we've mastered, we still don't know anything. No one can be an expert at writing any more than he can be an expert at life. Our journey toward mastery is a never-ending road, and the moment we start thinking we know everything, or even most of everything, is the moment we stop traveling forward. Never stop learning. Never believe you've achieved mastery. Always remember that your next big revelation is around the corner, waiting for you, so long as you keep looking for it. Here's to the journey. Here's to not knowing anything. And here's to never mastering this beautiful, crazy art of the written word. Thank you for listening to the Wordplay Podcast. To read a transcript of this episode, visit me on the web at wordplay-kmwyland, that's weiland.blogspot.com, and be sure to listen again next week.